Hello everyone to our Flatcar office hours meeting. Um, Today we have a couple of agendas to discuss. I'll share the screen so you can follow using the screen share. Um, yeah, I zoom in a little. Yeah, so before we start, let's do a quick intro. I do see someone new joining in. So let's start with me. Hi, I'm Sai. I am from India and I primarily look into the releases and patch upgrades and right now working on secure boot on Flatcar. Handing over to Matthew.
Hi everyone, here's Mathieu, also work in the Flatcar team and mainly involved from Cluster API and SE Linux related topics. What about you, Tilo?
Hi, I'm Thilo. Back to Flatcar development, maintainerships, and quite recently, I'm currently looking into SysExt and build system stuff and work on the Torx deprecation and SysExt composable images introduction. How about you, Kai?
I'm Kai, also Flatcar team member in Berlin. Currently, I'm working on this topic of system SysExt images and using them for extending Flatcar with either OEM software for the cloud vendors or for kind of additional software that's not part of the base image. And Dongsu?
Hi, I'm part of the Flatcar maintenance team and I'm based in Berlin. And currently, I'm working on UERS together with William and also working on security updates. Next is William.
Certainly. I'm William. Usually I'm based in the Netherlands, but right now I am in Berlin, sat right across the desk from Dongsu. I'm on the Flatcar team and working on UERS and this is X stuff along with Dongsu and Kai. Fellow Jitsier.
Is that me? It might be.
I do believe so, yes.
Okay, yes, well, apologies. I don't use Jitsi very often. I'm Ian. I work at Equinix. I'm consuming Flatcar and I came along to see what's happening.
Nice. This is exactly the meeting you want to be, where we talk about distro news and what's happening within the Flatcar. Yeah, so quickly jumping over to the agenda of the meeting. So we have a couple of news around Flatcar Linux. Tilo, do you want to talk about the specialized Linux OS working group?
Yeah, so that was exciting. We're in the process of submitting Flatcar to the CNCF, and we are talking to quite a few people, engineers and working groups as well. And there has been an interest in the CNCF to establish a working group that reports to the TAG runtime on specialized operating systems. And so we have a number of representatives of very, very specialized operating systems, partially image-based, partially taking a different approach in that working group. So yeah, thanks for opening the charter. This is kind of the main entry point. You can find a reference from our agenda. And you find our meeting cadence here. We just had a kickoff meeting last Thursday, kind of what we want to do, who's included. And it's pretty exciting because it's building a bridge to the workloads that we run, which is Kubernetes and lately specialized WASM workloads as to the operating system vendors that produce the base layer for that. So it's exciting. Oh yeah, and if you read that agenda and the charter, and if you feel that you should be represented in a working group and are not, the working group currently has two chairs. That is Danielle, who sadly couldn't make it today, and Steve McGuinness, I believe, from the Bottle Rocket project. Just ping either of them and start a discussion. Sean McGuinness, sorry. And start a discussion. They're very approachable folks, and they'll guide you right in. the second thing that we have, this is, so the working group is kind of like Flatcar and above. And the other thing that's going on with the image-based special purpose Linux and secured measured boot dev room at FOSDEM 2024, it's something that we are working on with the UAPI group, and that is kind of Flatcar and below kernel and plumbing level work. We had a pretty successful dev room last year, and we're currently building some momentum and have submitted a proposal for a new dev room. We cross our fingers that it'll work. If you're interested in seeing that dev room, please cross your fingers as well. And that's all from me. Thanks, Saya.
No problem. Thank you, Tilo, for the both the points. Moving over to the distro news. So we have so Tilo has been primarily working on the Tox replacement. He has put in a PR for it, and this would result in near future replicating Tox as well. Tilo, any one or two lines on that?
Oh yeah, so Torx is an interesting thing that people came up with when CoreOS started. We've been carrying it along as some legacy parts, but it doesn't really fit into the purely immutable image-based context of Flatcar. So we're going to replace it with systemd sysx, which fills that gap much better than Torx did. It allows some composition of the image as it's being built and as it's being provisioned. Like one of the most exciting features there is this is kind of paving the way for making the image, the base OS image, way more lightweight in the future. So that's exciting work going on there. But this is just the foundational work. Like there's more to come that adds on top of this.
Nice. Next is Kashmir or Matthew. Would you like to talk on the work that you have been doing on multiple systems for upstream system D? We should fix that typo.
Yes, of course. Hi everyone. So yeah, we started to work on a mutable sysx implementation. So currently, when you mount sysx images, it happens that it's mounted in read-only, and /usr becomes read-only, which is already the case. So it's all right on immutable system, but the idea would be to maybe preserve the read-write behavior of the file system if we mount a sysx image. So yeah, the idea is to bring a new feature to systemd sysx image to be able to keep the current behavior of the file system. If it's read-only, we keep read-only, or to override this and set read-write, for example. Can be pretty convenient for /opt, for example, if you don't want to become it read-only. So yeah, we started to dig into this. It's something to be done upstream. So yeah, once again, it's collaboration between systemd folks and Flatcar team.
Nice. Handing over to Kai. Kai recently is, I guess, the auxiliary work is around sysx. So, Kai, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so I'm also kind of trying to prepare things for the new systemd version. So currently we have some generators that write things to /dc in the initRD, and that has to be changed to write to the generator folder. So that was some kind of sandboxing mechanism introduced in newer systemd versions. And yeah, then we had this topic of /etc, which is currently overlay mount already in Flatcar, and we use the redirect dir feature for making renaming of directories work without upcopies, and maybe we stop doing that depending on what we find out in this topic of whether this feature is kind of undefined when there are lower dir changes or not. And so the docs say for overlay FS it's undefined behavior, but maybe it's still okay. So that's what we have to check, or whether we can just stop using this redirect dir feature and what the implications are of that.
Thank you, Kai. So that's all the work we have been doing on the sysx. That's a lot of work. You can track more on our issues. It's actively tracked, and if you want more go in depth reviews, the developer sync meeting that we have, the guide actually talks about the cars that the team is working on. So if you want more updates on the CSX work, you can definitely join the developer sync meeting. On the security side, Gypsy and Samba are updated, and we are having new updates coming up. But I'll hand over the mic to Dong Su if you want to share more update on this same.
Yes. Yeah. As Sayan said, Glypsy and Samba were updated and included in the previous releases. And currently, we are preparing a fix update for glibc that should include another high severity critical security issue. And the core issue and advisories will be public tomorrow on Wednesday. So we are waiting for the new release of core. That's it.
Thank you. So next is the cluster API work that we have been planning. So Matthew recently gave a demo at the cluster API OpenStack meeting on the integration of CSX-based CSX and cluster API integration. And what we are planning is that we would be targeting the other CAPI providers in the next few weeks in their office hours. The immediate plan is we would be trying to get a slot in the CAPC meeting, and this would be and then following up with like the CAPI and the CAPI AWS. So the work would primarily be driven by me and Matthew over the next few weeks, and then we have the like a new CSS Bakery Kubernetes release, which has a fix for the kubelet symlink. Yeah, that's mostly for the cluster API update. And heading over to the releases. So we last week we had a major stable going out, and we also published a new LTS for the current year, which is the LTS 2023. If you are looking to upgrade to the newer LTS, this is a good time. You can start the migrations. It has a good chunk of update, and given stable is also after a couple of time, like couple of months, so it's been out. So definitely it has a lot of security updates, and definitely suggest that you move to the new stable. And the next update is so Grub was updated a couple of weeks back and was in alpha, but now it's currently stabilizing in beta. And the plan is in the next major stable we will like pump up like it would graduate to the stable version. So I would definitely recommend that you put out a few nodes on beta and test out your workloads so that to see that you don't there are not any issues. If you face issues, feel free to report this back to the Flatcar issues tracker. And the plan is that we would not mix up the grub and the system D in the same release. So the system D 253 would be soon we will start to work on it, and hopefully in the next stable major release we will have this updated system D. And the next point is the few months back we started to have like beta so beta basically states. So we handle the kernel you used to handle kernel patches where we used to merge kernel patches into beta and stable at the same point of time, but there were a few issues. So we updated our principles and started delaying the patches into stable for at least one release after beta. So basically, people could test the latest kernel patches in beta and then they could move it to stable. So, but right now, stable is on 5.15, whereas beta is on a is on the 6.1, I guess. So we would start merging those kernel patches directly instead of waiting for a week or two. And we are also planning to start working on kernel 6.5 so that we are closer to the 6.6 kernel, and there would be less smaller chain set, and also we would have a bigger room to test the kernel chain set. So that's all for the distro news. Any questions till now? No. So I'll move over to the release planning. Okay, so given I already, so as I mentioned, we already had a release which brings out the alpha major, beta major, and stable major along with the new LTS release. We did not update the LTS 2022 yet, but we are planning release next week. So you would see stable releases for beta and stable along with LTS branches, and alpha would receive a major update, and that would be a maintenance release. So expect minor package update, expect package updates along with minor bug fixes, and we would also attend the call CV issue in the next release. That's mostly it. Anything that you would like to mention for the release planning? I take that as a no. So, okay. Yeah, that concludes the meeting for us. And yeah, Tilo, do you want to say a few words then?
Ian, did you just come by to check out the meeting, or do you have anything that you want to discuss?
Well, I've been discussing it in the channel, and I'm getting some useful answers actually. But yeah, I was trying to get an updated kernel NIC module in place, which has been basically reading the Flatcar documentation and actually the CoreOS documentation that diverged from it. Both of those seem to work to get the file in place, but they don't get the file in place soon enough. It's loaded in from the initRD, but Kai's given me an idea that I can go away and try and see whether that works.
Awesome.
Yeah, I did ask you a question, Kai. If you want to answer in the chat, then that would help. But otherwise, I mean, I can certainly give it a go. I think it's going to be hard to debug what's going on in initRD because it's initRD and you never quite know what's going on at that stage of the boot. You don't get much in the way of indications, but I can give it a throw and see what happens.
Great. I think that's the end for us. If no one else has anything to speak up, then we can probably end the meeting here. So thank you all for joining. Have a great rest of the day, and see you in the Flatcar Developers meeting.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.